The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
And welcome once again to Locq Fortune's Las Vegas Vibe. Wow. I know you're used to me saying what a great show we have, and how am I going to top last week? Was that incredible, John? Holy cow, that was amazing. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah. We had Skip Martin in the house. He was awesome. He was playing that trumpet like a madman. It was amazing. I loved it. If you didn't get a chance to actually see that show, it is available for you to go to our website, the WWDBTV website, WWDBTV.com, and tune in on that website because it was just amazing, the music that he played. Skip, thank you so much for coming on board, buddy. Love to have you back. How do we top a show like that? Well, how you top a show with a talented man? Well, you follow up with a beautiful woman. That's about the only way to do that, right? Right. So today we're going to have Miss Kelvie Shelton, Miss Kelvie Maya Shelton on the show, and she's going to be talking to us about her adventures as a notary public. Kelvie is also a long-time client of mine, almost 12 years or so. And so the second part of the show, we're going to spend talking about what it is that I do and the effect that it's had on her life, and we'll be going over that. So, but what will we be talking about during this segment? What's in it for you? Look, guys, this show is all about you. This show is about you. This show is about things that should be of interest in you. If you're thinking about getting into the notary business, you're definitely going to want to tune in for this next segment. If you're thinking that you're going to be dealing with a notary sometime in the next couple of weeks here, or a couple of months, you're going to want to tune in for this segment. I'm always going to have something relevant to you, and I'm always going to bring to you someone who is reputable in their field. For example, Kelvie has been doing this for almost a decade now, and so we will be talking about her adventures, and she has many things to cover with that. But why is this your show? Because I want you to think about this. I want you to think about the dynamic of the talk show. The talk show itself, as a phenomenon, started back in the 1970s. And back in the 1970s, it was like, it was a rare jewel. You got to watch what Big Brother told you to watch, and you had to watch it when Big Brother told you to watch it. And generally, you got to see some of your favorite stars talk about some of their favorite things. Once in a while, a political hack would come on and talk to you about politics. And, they come on late at night. And so, if you didn't stay up until 11 o'clock at night, then you missed it. You missed that show, and you got to feel bummed out while everybody was talking about it around the coffee cooler. Right? Well, now we're speeding up. But either way, the talk show was a very rare and precious phenomenon, because if you got a chance to appear on a talk show, you were big news. You became a big deal. You were up there with Rich Little. You were now up there with Dionne Warwick. You were up there with Whitney Houston, Madonna. You were one of those people. You were in that crowd. So there was great value to be able to appear as a guest on a talk show. Well, nowadays, almost everybody has a talk show, right? You got talk shows on during the daytime. You got talk shows on during the nighttime. You still have the late night talk show. Why? Because it still dominates, because the talk show is a phenomenon that's not going to go away or go anywhere anytime soon. As long as people have something to talk about, there will be a talk show in which to talk about them. But now, what we're looking at today is a change, almost paradigm shift in the change of how talk shows now can be run. Now, you yourself can be your talk show. You yourself can be your talk show to your audience. You have something that you want to talk about? You have something that you want to share? why not come up here? Share with your audience. You have a show idea. Maybe you like to be a game show host. Okay? Well, that's no longer a dream. Now it's something that is attainable. This is something that when you come on to my show, you're not only exposing yourself to my audience, but you're also exposing yourself to your audience. And even more importantly, you're exposing yourself to your audience. You're exposing yourself to your target audience. You're exposing yourself to the people that you know definitely would be interested in seeing it because you know them. And no one knows your audience better than you. So now you have a chance to appear, an opportunity to appear on a talk show, in a talk show host format, and present your product, present your idea, present your event in an environment that's, up there with Johnny Carson or up there with David Letterman, So this is what we're talking about in regards to the talk show phenomenon, because now it is no longer view when I say, view when Big Brother says. Now it is something that can be viewed on many, many different types of mediums whenever the viewer wishes to watch it. So this is something that you'll be able to have and you'll be able to treasure. A week from now, a month from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you'll be able to have that moment that you had on a talk show talking about your event. Wouldn't it be great to plan your wedding around a talk show? Yeah, your wedding. Now you can appear as guest and be interviewed about your feelings about your special event and that special day, and have that as something to share with your friends and your family later on. Or maybe you are going to be doing a convention and you're going to have a booth at the convention and you would love to have a big screen TV that's going to replay the message that you have to say about your event or about your product. Well, how about come on down to the studio and let's talk about it. We'll talk about it for about 10-15 minutes, and now you have a 10-15 minute loop that you can play in the background in your booth at your convention that's 100% pure broadcast quality. So these are the things that the Vegas Vibe is about. It's about the community. It's about people in the community that have a message, that have something to say. If you got something to say, then hey, I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you about it. I want to speak with you about your life. That's what the Vegas Vibe is about. It's about the community, and it's about making your dreams come true. It's about offering you the opportunity to be your own host. Or maybe you would just simply like a commercial to tell people about your product or to tell people about the opportunity that you have. And air it on our show. This is another opportunity that you have in order to express your goals, your desires in regards to where you see yourself and what you would like the community to see you as a professional as. So, that said, I've done my little spiel. What are we doing all this for? Well, like I said, this show is all about you, but what is it in there for me? Well, I need your likes, I need your shares. Give me your likes, give me your shares. Let's get this show out there. This is a voice for the community. This is your chance to speak to your community. So share this with your community. Let them watch it. There's also our fan page. So our fan page has many different things that you can look at. This is I always like to have a couple of different segments during this part of the show. We haven't even got in our first year yet. Not even our first year yet. I've already had a Grammy Award winning artist on the show. Yay! I've also had one of the top 50 in the United States mixologists on the show. Yay! There are great things coming with the show. There are going to be great things going on with the show. But we are still kind of working with the format and making it more user-friendly and incorporating things to get you, the watcher, more engaged with the show. And so what gets a watcher more engaged in the show than prizes? Yay! We love prizes. Right? So yeah, is there nothing that I will not stoop to get you to watch the show? No, there's nothing that I will not stoop to get you to watch the show. Okay? But I have a lot of guests that come on here. When Skip was here, he was really wonderful enough to leave us with a couple of CDs, and so we're going to be giving away some CDs. We've got a really, really great virtual reality headset remote viewer, as seen on TV, that we're going to be giving away. And we'll also be having different videos, DVDs, or something else that I think is pretty cool and that you might like to have as an addition to your home or to your family or something like that. No, we won't be giving away any pets, so don't worry about that, or any children. Well, we might get some offers, but no, we can't do that. We're not allowed to traffic in that area. Anyway, what else is going on in the news today? Well, I like to talk about what's going on in the cannabis news, but we had a couple of things going on this week that were kind of interesting to me, so I think we're going to forego some cannabis news for some other things that have been going on in the world. It looks like Mr. Trump's not too happy with the LGBT community, huh? It looks like the LGBT community is going to be having some issues with Mr. Trump, too. Like I said, I don't like to talk politics on the show. The show is not about politics. It's about entertainment. It's about fun. It's about, but when something funny comes up, and which often will in politics, how can you not? You got to take a shot at it. So he doesn't want transgendered troops in the military because it will be a burden because of the medical expenses that this will incur. Do we have a boo button on there? Do we have a little boo button? Boo. But boo.
I got something better.
There you go. Let's shoot that one down. We can shoot that down right here. Well, sir, it looks like, when the president speaks, fact checkers come out. And it looks like some fact checkers decided to dig into this, and it seems that the military spends more on Viagra than it does on transgender medical expenses. 5 times more on Viagra than it does, not once, not twice, not 3 times, 5 times more on horny straight men than it does on people who need to have their sexual identities addressed. Very interesting. Moving on. What do we got here next? Well, another thing that I posted on the Vegas 5 fan page. So if you go over to the Vegas 5 fan page, you'll know that we're going to be going over a little bit here because time. But we got some new type of tarot cards in town here. Well, who are you going to come to about tarot than me, right? And I just noticed this week that we got a couple of new different types of tarot cards. One is actually based on Marvel superheroes, and then the other one, Marvel superheroes. I thought that was pretty good. I like that. That was a good one. Go over to my fan page and check that one out. And the other one is a tarot deck based on the Game of Thrones. So that was due to come out here. I think that's going to be really popular. I don't want to get egged, but I'm not a watcher of the Game of Thrones. Not because I don't like the Game of Thrones. I'm pretty sure I will like the Game of Thrones. It's just that I know eventually I'm going to be invited to a Game of Thrones binge party. And I want to be able to watch it and enjoy it with all the experts while they give me their feedback on what's going on and everything like that. And so I'll binge with you guys when I go to that eventual binge party, and that's when I'll be able to catch up with it. So what else do we have? Wow, science just made a major scientific breakthrough in the fact that a team of scientists just made food from electricity. Okay, are we feeling Star Trek here? Replicator? Do we get a replicator? Can we get a replicator here in the house to make our food here? Major step. This could do a step towards solving hunger as well. There's information about that on the fan page. We also have some information in regards to a common spice that is actually killing cancer cells. You know what it is? Turmeric. Turmeric. Bless you. But yeah, you use that turmeric, and that'll help you with several different forms of cancer. So you know me, I'm always talking about holistic, healthy ways in which to take care of yourself and better your life and make it a better place for you to live. And then also on a little bit of a funny side, we got a couple of pictures of some rabbits that are hopping over some sheep in order to escape New Zealand. I thought that was pretty funny. Things that make you go, Things that make you go, that used to be a segment way back when in the talk show days. They used to be a segment things that make you go. This one made me go, It looks like there's supposed to be some kind of tech company in Wisconsin that is going to be microchipping its employees put a microchip under the skin there as a way of keeping track of their employees. Now, I'm not sure exactly the validity of this story, so I'm not, I posted it up there because it made me go, but I could have sworn like a couple of years ago I saw the same thing on Facebook that was going around, so it might just be a different flavor. And I'm not in Wisconsin, so I can't verify whether or not these people are actually getting chipped or not. But if they are getting chipped, you're crazy. But if you're, this is just something for you to look at and, take a look at. In cannabis news, I do have some good, important cannabis news for you, I think. Today's the 27th? Yeah, okay, well, it's too late, so we won't talk about that. So, so that's the thing, and that's why you want to visit the fan page a lot, because I had cannabis job opportunity but that was on the 24th. That was posted. So those are things that we got on the Vegas 5 fan page. You can also go over to the Fortune on Wheels fan page to find out what's going on there in regards to the metaphysical side of my business. I am the only licensed psychic that's actually licensed to come to you to do readings, to your home, to your party, to your special event. And so if you'd like to have me come out to do that, you're more than welcome to. Or maybe you'd like to visit me when you have and have a good meal. Or if you'd like to visit me and have a good meal, then visit one of my sponsors. Mingo's Kitchen and Lounge. All right. Yeah, you can find me every Saturday from 11 until 3 p.m. and I am there for Psychic Saturday brunch. So along with a wonderful brunch, you get a free reading from me. Who could ask for anything more? So I'm there on Saturdays. Come on down. You can catch me live there. Or you can have me come to one of your events, or have me come over for a private reading. Or you can come to me for a reading if you like to have it that way. We give it to you your way. We like to have it your way, have you satisfied. I'm also the author of the book Vibology. Vibology is an ebook that's downloadable from Amazon.com. It's also downloadable off of your Barnes & Noble website, as well as your major Kindle websites, any of those. And so this is a book about who? It's about you. It's a book about names. That's right, John. It's about you. It's about you too, Kelvie. That's right. If you've got a name, then this book is covering you. It's I've got one full page dedicated to each letter of the alphabet, talking about the personality traits that a person whose name begins with this letter will exhibit. So I've been going over the past few weeks. If you go back in the show, I've been talking to you about the book and how it came about and everything like that. And I'll probably go over a little bit more at the end of the show. We'll give you some more Vibology hints and Vibology tips along with that. But we've got a lovely, lovely guest coming on next on this next segment. Her name is Kelvie Shelton, and she's going to be talking to me about the notary business, something that I find absolutely fascinating. Very, very good niche career move. So if you're thinking about it, you might want to tune in and listen to this also. Other than that, we'll be back in a few minutes. This is Locq Fortune with Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe. See you soon.
Hey, this is Mingo from Mingo Kitchen and Lounge. Come downtown to my space, my restaurant, at 1017 South 1st Street in the Las Vegas Art District inside of Art Square. A couple of things we have going on is happy hour. That's from 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, except for First Friday. Sorry about that. And we're actually going to feature a summer happy hour, which will be 3 to 7 p.m., which is June 1st now through August 31st. So we're actually extending it an hour. And so you can join us for that extra hour of cocktails, food, and fun. Tuesdays, we have Taco Tuesday. We're starting that June 20th. And that'll be $2 tacos. We're going to feature a special taco, and it'll be only $2 for the purchase of any alcoholic beverage. And Saturdays, you can see Locq in person and get a free complimentary reading at our Psychic Saturday brunch. And that's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
What? Hey, you're back. I see you. You see me. All right. Well, this is Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe, and my guest is none other than the incomparable Kelvie Shelton.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's always so good to see you, Locq.
Always good to see you, sweetheart.
Oh, years and years of friendship.
Years of friendship. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how far we go back. It's like, oh God. We'll really give some ideas, people some ideas about how long I've been around. We start talking about that. But we'll save that for the next segment.
Yes, absolutely.
This segment, we're going to be talking about a business endeavor that you've actually been engaged in for quite a few years now. But I find it to be actually kind of fascinating. You are actually a notary public.
Correct. I am. I am a notary public for the state of Nevada, and predominantly the bulk of my business is real estate notary. So that's where I specialize in doing the loan signing. I'm the person who explains the documents. Say I have a buyer come in, first time home buyer, and they need some help about what some of these documents are that they're signing. We all know. And
Right.
if
Which can be a little bit overwhelming.
If you've been there and actually bought a house, you will see how many paperwork there. It's like, oh my gosh, are we going to be able to get through this in one day? And surprisingly, you're able to, on average, get through it in about an hour or so. But there's a lot of people. It's definitely a nerve-wracking experience. Sometimes the realtors aren't present. Sometimes the loan officers aren't present. So it's pretty much then up to me to kind of appease the client and answer any questions that they have, and just create that rapport so that they know know exactly what they're signing. If they have any questions, all those questions are answered, and just make an enjoyable experience. I mean, buying a home, it's an exciting thing.
Yes.
So is selling a home too.
Yes.
A lot of reasons why people buy or sell. There's those transitions that happen in life, and we're all moving up and to different, stages in our life, and it's important that the person knows exactly what's going on. And there's can be a lot of problems sometimes when you're selling a house, when you're buying a house, and a lot of hiccups along the way. So this is the last part of it. This is supposed to be the most exciting part of it. This is where it's like, now I'm done. Now I just have to wait for the paperwork to record, then the keys are in my hand, and now I'm a homeowner, or now I just sold a home, whatever it may be.
Right.
But my whole purpose is to make it fun for them, to make it enjoyable for them, so they know.
And generally, they're happy when they see you, right? Aren't they? Are they happy to see you? Or are they?
Most of them. We live in Vegas. There's quite a lot of different personalities of people. You'll be surprised. Some people are just like, "Yay, you're buying a house," and they're like, yay, it's
like, another bill. Why am I happy for? Yeah, right. Yeah,
you should be happy, but to each its own. But yes, majority of them are happy, and they're also scared. It's a big step. It's a big commitment. It's not like buying a car. This is something that you're pretty much stuck in on average 30 years of your life. You're looking at that and you're like, oh my gosh, I have 30 years to pay this off.
And that is the bulk of your business as a notary is real estate transactions, right?
Absolutely. Now, I'll do power of attorneys. I'll notarize wills. I'll notarize any type of affidavits or jurats or anything like that. But where I specialize is on the real estate realm of things. And that's really where the bulk of money comes in as well. I mean, you just do a normal notary, what is $250, $5. You can charge if you're doing mobile. You can charge for going to the person, that mobile driving fee, gas fee. But overall, you're not really going to make as much per se unless you're actually doing the real estate transaction. That's where it really is. I mean, Vegas is a place where people are constantly buying, selling, flipping houses.
Right, yeah.
So it's definitely a good industry to be in.
Real estate is definitely always moving here.
Yeah, so and especially being knowledgeable in the real estate, which I'm very knowledgeable in the real estate aspect.
Yes.
My license isn't active right now only because of the old place that I was working at. They wouldn't let me have it active, but I am reactivating my license, my real estate license, and I think that also helps me kind of like put me up on an edge to some of my other competitors when it comes to other notaries, because I know the real estate side, I know the lending side, I know the title and escrow side, and I take pride in my work where I'm not just going to be like, oh, here, sign this, right?
Well, I do know that about you. You are fastidious when it comes to your work.
This is what you're signing. This is what it means. Do you have any questions? Okay, no more questions? All right, let's go to the next page. So I make sure I'm very thorough with them, but at the same token, I'm very thorough, but I also try to pride myself on also being very effective. So if we have an hour time, slot to finish this in, well, let's finish it in an hour. Let's not make this an all-day affair, because we're constantly having clients come in. Constantly. It's like
it's always next person.
Every hour on the hour, that's how it can be. So
well, the way the market's going now too, there's a lot of transactions going through there, so there's a lot of demand, I would imagine, for notaries that do it competently. Now, how many years have you been doing it for?
I've been doing it for the last 2 years is where I've been really, really focusing on it. I've always wanted to, I've always been involved in the real estate aspect. My dad, he works out for Island Sotheby's International.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Mr. Shelton. How you doing?
He's the vice president, and he's also the broker in charge in Hawaii. So I come from a real estate background. My families have owned leaseholds. My grandparents were all in real estate. So I've been very knowledgeable. I have that experience, but really in the last 2 years is when I've been really pushing things even more, and realizing overall that how beneficial is. I mean, realtors come to me all the time and they're like, wow, you know a lot more than I do about certain things. And
Right,
so
right.
I always try to, keep myself knowledgeable, keep myself learning the newest regulations, whether it's TRID, which is the governing mortgage industry. It's best way to think of it is like HIPAA. Right,
Okay.
for insurance purposes and whatnot. So again, just always trying to keep yourself abreast with the current changes in the industry, I think is very important. So,
Well, tell me something. What's your funniest story that you might have in regards to
Funniest?
one that you? I mean, I'm sure something had to have happened where it was just like, really, or I mean, you have all these different. I mean,
have a lot. Yeah, I have a lot of stories. I mean,
because I'm sure people think, oh,
I've
notary
seen-
public, that must be boring. I mean, you just have to sign and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, you have all these different types of personalities that are
Oh
coming
yeah,
together
no,
here.
definitely. One minute I'm signing for a guy who's a drummer of Blue Men Group. The next minute I'm signing for a couple, 2 women who have foster children. Next minute I'm
Okay.
signing for multimillionaires. Next minute I'm
Right.
signing for a brain surgeon. I mean, I meet anybody and everyone. I've had signings where people have been sick.
I have
and
to ask
funny-
you this:
everything.
with the one with the surgeon dude. I mean, when you was like having him, was there a point where you said, "Dude, just sign? It's not brain surgery, man. Just."
Well, yeah. Right, that's true.
You kind of have to.
I'd have to say, well, first off, we'll answer your funniest one. So,
Right.
I'd say definitely some of the older men, right, are
Okay.
pretty funny. So
I'm sure I'm sure you would get some interesting.
I had a signing the other day with like an 85-year-old man, and he was a seller. He was selling his property.
Okay.
And I have to ask for their IDs. I can't start filling out the information in my journal without your driver's license and all that pertinent information. I have to verify you're you before
That's
we
why
even,
you're a notary.
before
That's
we even
exactly right.
start the documents.
Right,
Otherwise, I'm in
right.
a lot of trouble right there.
Right.
But I was asking him for his ID, and he was like, "I'm not giving you my driver's license." And I was trying to tell him, "Well, sir, I need your driver's license before we start this whole process." And he was like, "What are you going to do? Steal my identity? What, are you going to try to make credit cards in my name? Are you going to like take all my money?" And I'm like,
Oh my God.
and I was trying to explain to him, I'm here to help you. We're trying to get these
Right.
documents signed. You want to sell your house? I mean, don't you? I think you do, but.
And he was serious.
And
huh?
he was dead
like,
serious. He's like, I know women like you. That's what women do. And I was like,
Oh my God.
okay.
Harlots! You harlots!
The whole,
Right.
and then I'm going over the IRS documents because when you sell your home, you have to fill out some 1099 reporting documents. You have to ask them some legal questions and whatnot. And same thing, like, oh, what do you need my social for? What do you need to answer this question? Like, oh my gosh. And it was one
Right.
of those where I'm like,
Did you ever
But
have
we got
one
through it.
where like there was like a language barrier?
oh
Where
yeah.
you was
Oh my gosh. Yes, I did. So, it's the realtor's job or the lender's job to let us know if they need a translator.
right. Okay,
And
that's reasonable.
Normally, you
Right.
would think that a realtor would be there, which honestly, in my experience, I see realtors are probably show up about, 20, 30% of the times for their clients, and then lenders maybe about 10% of the time. So there's a lot of times where the clients are they're there by
Hanging in the
themselves.
wind,
Right,
right.
exactly. And so again, that's why it's so important that I create that rapport with them. But this gentleman happened to not
Because they
speak
don't
like-
have to be present.
Right, exactly. They don't
Okay.
have to.
Okay.
It's good though because if
Right,
there's
it's in their
questions-
best interest. If they're getting a check out of it, it would be in their
Right,
best
right,
interest. if you take it.
exactly. I
Right.
mean, you're making like 20 times what I'm making in
right.
an hour, so come
and
on
I could
now.
be here. Yeah, right.
Right.
Exactly. Okay.
And well, I had a gentleman who didn't speak English at all.
oh.
At all.
At
And I'm just
all.
trying to use my Spanish.
my
and I'm like,
God.
okay, I haven't been in college in years. So
Right.
my Spanish is not up to
Right.
the nines. It's at like the ones. And I'm like, iniciales, fecha, you know.
Oh my God.
And I
And
got
you
to
have
the
a
point-
stack of paper.
and I'm like,
too, that
right,
you're
and
going through.
Yeah, and I realized I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. I'm not.
Right.
So I quickly, he's signing some paperwork real quick, and I'm like, okay, download one of those translator apps. So I downloaded Hello Translate, and then I was like, okay, cool, getting it to download real quick because iPhones are awesome. They download
Right.
quickly,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
okay.
before you know it, I'm just typing in, okay, this is what I'm gonna ask him, and then hit translate, and then I'm like, here you go, here's my phone, and so I had to do that the whole signing.
Right. Right.
That was the quickest thing that came to my head. I got to
Thank
do something.
God this is for iPhone, or
Right,
else you would
and
never even
thank
made
God
it
it's
through.
for like brains or something. 'Cause
Right, because you would have never got through that
yeah,
signing.
I wouldn't have been able to. Yeah.
How
And it was just
funny.
horrible because I'm like, really? You guys left that guy hanging, and
Right.
we could have brought in a translator.
Right. Did they send you a little bonus or a little anything as a thank you or anything like that?
No. But here's my thing. I've gotten to where I am. I work for one of the largest title companies. I'm independent, but I work for one of the largest title companies. I work for one of the largest real estate investors.
Do you want to give them a plug? Or?
I work for Equity Title here in town.
Okay.
And then I don't want to expose, obviously, for confidentiality reasons and whatnot, the real estate investor that I work for as well, because don't want to put someone out there. But I work for one of the largest real estate investors, and I'm his personal notary.
Awesome.
And I mean, he does about 500 plus flips. So I'm signing all his sales.
You must have some really sore fingers there.
I'm signing all his purchases, his sales, his refinances, whatever it may be. So I'm doing thousands of transactions with him just alone every single year. So, I've dealt with things. I've dealt with women throwing up in a signing, and I'm holding her head back and putting an ice cold rag on her and getting her something to help her nausea, right? Like, here's some Zofran, here's this and that, right? So I feel that I've put myself out there, and people see what kind of a job I do. People are constantly coming to me, just thanking me for making sure that I create this symbiotic unit, like where I just make things work, and I'm respectful to the clients. Clients don't have any issues with me. I try to make it fun too. I don't want to make it 100% serious. It's kind of boring signing all these docs too. And I think just because of that, I say that that's a token of appreciation with itself. Nobody has to give me a gift, because just the gift of giving me clients is good enough for me.
Well said. Wow. Very well said. I thought that was great.
Well, thank you.
Well, Kelvie, thank you so much for coming on the show and
it's
talking.
Always good to see you.
Always wonderful to see you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have you on in the next segment. Yes. And we're going to talk a little bit about psychic stuff. We'll talk about some psychic stuff and some things that we've done together over the years that we've known each other. And you can thank your friend Lovely for not showing up today. Lovely, we're mad at you. You were supposed to be on in that segment. Yeah. But we'll have you on. We'll have you on next month. She'll be back
next month, right?
We'll have her on next month.
We'll get it done, so. All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Locq. It's a pleasure.
You're welcome. Thank you for giving us information about the notary business and letting us know what's going on in that area.
And I can always share my contact information if anybody needs any help. I've helped a couple people get their licenses, tell them where to go to school. You do have to have extra certifications, not just a normal notary school from the state. If you actually want to do real estate transactions, you have to go through the NNA.
Okay, so there's an additional...
You have to get what's called a signing agent license. You have to get your errors and omissions policy on top of the bond that the state already requires. So there's quite a bunch of extra steps, background checks. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm more than happy to help people. Like I said, I've already helped 2 other girls within the last year get a job as well at some other company.
Well, maybe she'll be helping me. I don't know. It sounds interesting because you know me. I like the entrepreneurial spirit, and so if you're going to be an entrepreneur, the best person in the world I think that you could ever work for is yourself. And so this is another outlet, and what any entrepreneur will always tell you if you're going to be a successful entrepreneur is to have multiple streams of income.
Yep, and you make your own hours.
Make your own hours.
Yeah, I make my own hours. I can say if I want to take an appointment or not. I can decide if I want to do it mobile, if I want to do it in office. Make more money if I do it mobile, but I ultimately determine my destiny. I can go to my kids' functions. I can, my daughter's dressed up as Harriet Tubman for school for her 5th grade final project, and I can be there.
Right on.
And I don't have to worry about, my boss is going to fire me. Because I am my own boss.
Exactly.
So I love it.
That's what I like about being my own boss. I won't fire me either. Even if I happen to throw a drunken psychic routine every once in a while, I'll tend to forgive myself. I might write me up, but that's about it. Anyway, thanks for being on the show, Kelvie.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks again.
All right.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you back in a few minutes. We'll be back with Kelvie to talk all things mystical and all things psychic. This is Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe.
Crazy Terry here with your car care tip of the day. So it's not a bad idea every now and then to check your battery. If you don't know how to do it, have somebody check it for you. Just a visual inspection can tell you a lot about your battery. So as we can see here, this battery's got a hold down. It's nice and tight. The cables are on. They don't look bad. We've got a cover. We don't see any corrosion. Everything's kind of tight, looking good. A little bit of dirt, that's normal, but nothing's leaking, no real cause for alarm here. So that's a good sign. Doesn't mean it's good, but at least visually we know that it's intact. Okay, so we're looking at a battery here that shows signs of corrosion. We want to test that battery to make sure it's good. Usually when they're getting like this, there's going to be a problem leaking some acid at the top. We ran the test and we find out it has 396 cold cranking amps, but the battery requires 650. So it's just not enough. The battery is going to go soon. Better to know now than later. Okay, so the benefits of checking the cable is because this cable's rotted out. What we'll find is this is the problem, not the battery. So it'll save you from buying a battery, still having the no start, only to find out that it's a cable. This type of corrosion is common in diesels. Okay, so we're getting ready to jump the car, but we have to have some battery cables. And we have to check those too before we hook them up to the battery. So here we have our standard set of battery cables. We just look them over, see if the ends are frayed, if everything's connected all right. Everything looks good here. Wouldn't hurt to check the rest of the cable just to make sure the dog didn't get it and chew it up. We have red and black. Red's positive, black's negative. You always want to hook the positive up first and then the negative. And I'll show you how that's done right now. Keep these off to the side so they're not touching each other. Hook up your positive. You can find that right here by the plus sign, the negative sign. Plus is positive, red. Make sure that's securely hooked up. Keeping these away from each other. Hook up your negative cable. Just got to fight it on there. Figure out a way to get it. Wiggle it a little bit so it ensures a good connection. Now you're transferring voltage. If I hit these two together, we're going to spark. Kind of want to avoid that. Won't kill you. Kind of fun. A lot of people think if they can turn the headlights on, the battery's fine. That's not always the case. It takes very little amperage to turn a light on, but it takes a lot of amperage to start the starter. I recommend checking the charging system every oil change. At Sun Valley Automotive, there's never a charge for that. This is Crazy Terry with your car care tip of the day.
And so I heard that you would be back, and so I prepared for your arrival with this cup of the best uncle ever.
The best uncle ever.
This cup of best uncle ever. It's brought to you by my nieces. And by Mingo's Kitchen and Lounge. Yay, Mingo!
Too much fun at this.
I love it. I never realized I would really like it this much, whatnot, but
it's your niche.
Yeah, and I got a great, John's great. I got a great crew behind me and everything like that. So, wonderful people to talk to. So these things are what makes it really, really great for me. Like you, for example, how long have we known each other?
Oh my gosh, Jesus. Whew. It's about 12 years almost.
12 years, huh?
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, it does. I've been here for over 12 years, and you were one of the first people I met.
How did we meet? That's a story. How did we meet?
Well, at the time, I was married to my kid's father, and my girlfriend, Mary, who I had met because she was dating.
Hi, Mary!
Hi, in Italy.
In Italy, I know. We love you in Italy.
I hope you're watching this, Mary. Right. And I had met her through my husband at the time, and she was dating his friend, and we got really, really close, and we pretty much did everything together. We were like Thelma and Louise, always together, which you remember too.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
Yeah, I know. I definitely miss her. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to start crying. But she had this brilliant idea where she was like, let's go get a psychic reading. I'm like, okay, never done that before. This is kind of interesting. And I'm like, well, I don't really have a babysitter. And she's like, oh, it's okay. Your baby's over here sleeping and, the little car seat or whatever. You're fine. And so she tells me that she found someone off of Craigslist.
That was back in my Craigslist days. I used to advertise on Craigslist. I may actually start doing that again. So if you're saying something, I don't know, but I don't have any plans right now in the immediate future.
So at first I'm a little like, this is kind of interesting. We're going to go meet someone. This is kind of when Craigslist first came out, I think, too. So
Craigslist
it's like,
was new out. Yeah,
right. It's like, okay, what is this Craigslist thing? How do we know this is a reputable person? And she was like, don't worry about it. We're meeting him at the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf right across from the UNLV campus.
Right, yep.
So she's like, don't worry. It's going to be a public place. We'll be fine. It'll be a safe environment. And sure enough, that's where I met Mr. Locq. And the rest is just history.
The rest is history. Right. That was history.
We've always been friends since that. We've had a lot of fun, and We've had a lot of friends throughout the years that cross paths.
I met so many really good quality people because of
Yeah.
you, Kelvie, especially
Aw.
the women.
Britt, Renee.
Britt, hi Britt, hi Renee.
Oh,
Oh, my
Mervet.
God.
Oh, my
Mervet.
God.
Hi,
Didn't
Mervet.
we have the best times at the pool party?
Yes.
Oh, my
Oh, my
gosh.
gosh.
Mervet
They said-
could throw the best.
Mervet presided over these pool parties at Mandalay Bay that were just off the hook.
Yes.
And
yes.
we were there, and we would be like royalty, and we would just like, oh my gosh.
Yes, we would.
Yes.
It was awesome. We had our own
Yes.
cabana, everything. It was our Super Sundays. So
And then you, and Britt, and Renee, we used to go out clubbing all the time. We'd go to all these different nightclubs, and I'd walk in. This little black man with these gorgeous white women standing around behind him, 3 of them. So they were like, Locq's Angels. I used to call you Locq's Angels. Remember that? We'd go out and be like, oh, it's Locq's Angels, because it's like Kelvie, Renee, and Britt.
Oh, I know. I miss those times, man. Sucks getting older, doesn't it?
Oh, well, we're getting better. That's what
Exactly.
I look at it.
No, yeah, we age like
Yes.
a fine glass of wine. But
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
But I wish we had all that spunk and tenacity to go out and do the same thing all the time. 'Cause
I know. Now we
we
just stay home and get drunk.
We're
We
like
don't go.
5
we
o'clock
don't
in the
go out and
morning
get drunk.
over here, just hanging out. Woo.
Although the new lift thing now this is a new phenomenon that could actually get us out of our geriatric positions and
Right,
out
that's
there
true.
because we can actually count on somebody to come in and push us into a car and cart us back off to the old folks home afterwards. So
Well, hopefully you're sober enough to tell them where your address is, right? They'll drop you
Yeah.
off like the house next door. You wake up, and
yeah,
your porch, the
yeah.
neighbor's
This
like, where'd you come from? Yeah, no.
So you never gotten psychic readings before, but then after that one, what do you think about psychic readings now?
Well, at first when I did it, I was really, really nervous, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how my family, my friends, and everything
They'll
would
disown
perceive
me.
right? Like they're gonna disown me, like this is like the devil or whatever. Everyone has their preconceived notions.
And now
so-
she's on TV.
Yeah, so and it's like, well, but there was a lot of things that you always said, which were just so truthful and so forth. And I remember sometimes in the heat of the moment, you'd tell me something, I'm like, no way, it's not happening this way. Whatever, don't believe him. It's not like that. There's impossible. I remember the first thing you did was you predicted Andrea too, and
yes,
I kept
Andrea,
telling you, I was
Andrea.
like, all right, no, because at the time, my husband and I, my ex-husband now, but we were going through issues and there was no intimacy. We were living in separate homes, and I was like, there's just no way we're gonna have another child. And well, after his brother died one time, that
That's all it
happened,
takes is
and,
one time.
and it was kind of a fluke thing. Like years later, after you said, you're like, no, this is gonna happen. This is, you're gonna have this little girl, everything. And I was like, no. And that was just one example, but that was a good example.
Right.
And that was one of the first examples you gave me, along with a laundry list of examples you've given me thus far in the last 12 years. And it was like, okay, well, there's definitely some truth in these things that he's saying. So
So there's some truth and validity in what
absolutely,
we do. and that.
absolutely. So
Right.
it's and then I just, the more we became friends, and then the more we did certain things together.
She's like
then
my
I was
little sister now.
Right.
12 years. What can I say?
He is. He's definitely a good big brother. He's been there for me through a lot. And I know I'm probably not the easiest little sister to deal with, but
Oh, none of you are easy little sisters to deal with, my love. Don't worry.
No, it's just you definitely opened my eyes to a lot of things. You've taught me a lot of things as well, whether it's like the chakra or the name and vibology, or if it's numerology, or just things with the stars aligning, and just a lot of different avenues and things that you've opened up my eyes, and things where I'm like, everything just kind of comes together, that whole alignment.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, it's a new moon, so green candles, light your green candles. This brings in prosperity for you. If you want prosperity to come, then this is the time to get those green candles lit in order to welcome prosperity into your home. While the moon is waxing and building an energy, you're putting that energy out there that you're also waxing and building an energy, and so therefore you're attracting those things that you need and wish to sustain you. Kelvie, you are such a wonderful wonderful participant in our community. I think that people don't really know how much you're involved with your church. We don't know how much you're involved with your local community. There's always one mom in every community that all the kids, they go to that mom's house and hang out.
Yep.
This is that mom, okay? Of course, if you have 3 kids, then obviously, then more kids are gonna. But literally, the whole neighborhood. I mean, they all know who she is, and that's how Kelvie does. She affects whole communities. So it's not just her nuclear family, but she always reaches out beyond that.
I love kids, love them. So always try to be there for the children and
always has a full cupboard. This woman has food upon food upon food upon food.
We're always doing fun games, activities. I think it's really important. I grew up that way. I very, very blessed. Had very affluent parents. My parents were also very involved in the community, always helping out with nonprofits and donating. They still do that to this day. Like my dad literally just resigned recently for my high school foundation. He was still the president years later.
Oh my gosh!
I'm not in high school, Dad.
Yeah, I was like, Dad, you can leave now.
Right? But that's just how they are, and that's how I was raised. So I appreciate that. I try to pride myself
much
on
is
that.
given, much is expected.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, and I'm definitely gonna light my green candles because that's everything that you teach is also like the law of attraction. You put it out, what you put out is going to come back to you. And just like you told me 2 years ago, make that transition with the one company I was working for, slowly make that transition to where I'm at now, being independent.
Yes, and owning your own life.
Owning it, and it's been great. It's been very profitable, where I didn't know if it was going to be. This is scary. Like, it's
scary. It's a roller coaster ride.
I'm guaranteed with this person, and now I'm not guaranteed. But, I mean, there were certain things, again, you told me these things in readings. Like, if I did this would happen, and just give yourself more credit for who you are and what you do than you do. It's giving you that confidence, and you've given me a lot of that throughout the years too. So.
Well, I'm glad. I mean, the woman that you've transformed yourself to, compared to the woman who you were, is just amazing. And you're much more of a fighter now. You're much more vocal. You're more willing to
not like a cat with the tail behind
his
legs. I know. That was,
but you still managed to keep hold of the central core of yourself, which is that giving spirit, which is really wonderful. So you didn't, you haven't become jaded, and so that's really important. Also, not to become jaded. And so I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of the things that you're doing and the new adventures that you're embarking upon. And
look
I
at
want you to come back.
Look at you. Who would have thought this guy really at the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, like on Craigslist, like, hi, I'm Locq. I'm here to meet you and do a reading. Is now I'm Locq, and just this lioness type of personality, this bold. I mean, you've always been bold, but you're even more bold, right? Like, and you're doing what you want to do.
A little more in your face now.
Right, Locq. Right. Yeah, he'll tell you how it is. You've had some times where you've gotten in my face and you're like, just own it, or do you want to be this, or do you want to be that? And but you know what? Everybody needs tough love. Everybody needs that once in a while, because we can't improve as a person if we don't receive that tough love.
It's frustrating sometimes when I know that if a person was to go in this direction, that things are going to be like this, and I see them veering in another direction. And then when you get to a point where you have certain clients that you care about, then it's even, if it's just a client and, it's the first time that you've seen them, and, maybe it's their second time coming back, there's not a lot of emotional investment, especially if you've been doing something for 12 years. But when you see a person, at least once a year, at very least once a year for 12 years, then obviously you're going to have a little bit of skin in the game. You're going to want, the person to be happy and lead them to their better selves. And so that's what I'm always trying to do, and that's what I'm always trying to do for all of my clients. My goal is to lead them to their better selves, to their better lives, to the lives that they've envisioned for themselves. I'm just like what I'm doing now. You're right, back Coffee Beans days, but this was a life that I had envisioned for myself even back then. And so it can happen, and we can, and you're an embodiment of owning your life. And that was another thing that I wanted to say is, what? I may not make as much as a Sheldon Adelson. I don't make anywhere near as much as Sheldon Adelson. I might not make anywhere close to as much as Sheldon. I might not even be pissing range of a Sheldon Adelson. Okay, but I definitely make more than a McDonald's worker. Okay, and and when I think about it, Yeah, no, am I the richest person in the world? No, but I'm not the poorest person in the world either. And I have the time to do what I want to do. And that's something that you can't put a price on.
No.
Is having the time to spend with your kids.
Yeah.
You know, you have that extra time now as an entrepreneur to be able to have that, to give them that face time during this most important time of their formative years.
Yeah, no,
Where
absolutely.
a lot of moms don't have that luxury because they're so busy banging that 9 to 5. And a lot of dads also don't have that luxury because they're so busy pounding that 9 to 5 beat. You know?
Yeah, and you remember how that's what I was. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when you used to work for
8 years
that
running that
touring
company too. Just
Yeah.
I for 5 years I didn't have a day off.
Right.
For
yeah.
7 years I answered the phone every single day, or at least 5 days a week after hours, and I'm getting phone calls at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It was very disruptive to my family. It was very disruptive when I had
Oh my
pool
gosh!
party.
Oh my gosh!
And I have to bring my laptop. To
I would
run
go
a
out. We
credit
would go
card
out.
transaction.
We would go
Oh
out
my
on
goodness.
dates. We'd go out to hang out and whatnot. And she'd have like literally three phones. And she'd be like, "Okay, Locq, well, just a second. I just gotta," and it would turn into like. One time we were at Firefly, I think. I think I got up and left or something like that. 'Cause you were so busy texting and whatnot. You're like, "Okay, Locq, I'll talk to you later." I was like, "Okay, I'll talk to you later."
Oh no, it wouldn't have been like that.
But Firefly is like one of our sacred
Yes,
sacred
that
places.
is,
That's
that
one of our
is.
sacred places
That
and
was
whatnot.
our
So I was like,
spot. But
yeah, I was like,
it was halfway between where you were at and halfway
halfway
between
between
my
where you were at,
office.
so it was
So we'd be like,
perfect.
"Oh, let's go meet here for lunch."
absolutely perfect and whatnot. So we'd
Yeah.
go there and just indulge and whatnot, We'd be
Yes,
like,
we
great
would.
and whatnot, So anyway, I would really love to have you come back on sometime in the near future again to tell us, what's going on with you with the notary and everything like that, or what
Yeah.
other endeavors that you've
Yeah, no,
branched off
absolutely.
into. Okay.
Absolutely. Let me know whenever.
Okay, awesome. Well, this has been the latest segment of Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe. We've been talking with Kelvie Shelton here about her adventures in, we were talking to her, that was the last segment about her adventures in the notary business, but we've been talking to her this segment about her adventures with me, the incomparable Locq Fortune.
He's amazing. Absolutely. I'm telling you,
Oh,
for
thank you
someone
so
who was
much.
like, I don't, no, not doing this, not getting a reading, to someone like, okay, I need Locq's advice sometimes in life, right? So, he's very knowledgeable, one of the best of the best. And another thing too, you remember, Mary and I went to New Orleans.
Right.
We
I
went
remember
to
you
New
guys went
Orleans
to New Orleans.
years later. So
Yes.
of course she wanted to do her traditional, let's go get another psychic reading.
Right.
And so we had a couple of readings in that little, I forget what that square is, but it's where all the psychics congregate there in
Okay.
New Orleans, and it's the spot. It's on, TripAdvisor or whatever. This is where you got to go if you want a psychic reading. We met with 2 other people down there, and I've met others along the way, and by far, this guy.
Wow.
It
Wow.
shoots
Thank you so
everyone
much.
out of the water. So
Thank you so much.
There's a lot of examples, but we don't want to get too personal in my life. But there's been a lot
We-
of things.
Yeah, they ain't trying to put you out on the street. Yeah, they ain't trying to put stuff out on the street now. Yeah, right,
exactly.
right.
So, but he's pinned the tail on the donkey. So.
Right on. Well, thank you so much. Look
welcome.
forward to
Thank
having
you.
you
So
come
good to
back
see
again.
you.
I'm sorry you missed Jill. Jill was out here. She
I
was out here. You guys missed each other,
know.
but you know how she flies in, flies out, and stuff like that and whatnot.
Yeah.
But we'll have you on again, okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was such
You're
a
more than
pleasure.
welcome. Thank you for coming on the show.
Dude, thanks.
You're welcome. And that has been another segment of Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe. Hope to see you again, and come back next week. We're going to have some really great stuff for you. By next segment, I'll be coming back. Hang in there. I've got one more segment to go. We're going to talk a little bit more about this whole talk show dynamic. So I'm going to school you a little bit more on that and how you can get involved if you'd like to be a sponsor or if you'd like to be an advertiser, how you can get involved with Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe. I'll be back in just a moment.
Hey, this is Mingo from Mingo Kitchen and Lounge. Come downtown to my space, my restaurant, at 1017 South First Street in the Las Vegas Art District inside of Art Square. A couple of things we have going on is happy hour. That's from 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, except for First Friday. Sorry about that. And we're actually going to feature a summer happy hour, which will be 3 to 7 p.m., which is June 1st now through August 31st. So we're actually extending it an hour. And so you can join us for that extra hour of cocktails, food, and fun. Tuesdays, we have Taco Tuesday. We're starting that June 20th. And that'll be $2 tacos. We're going to feature a special taco, and it'll be only $2 with the purchase of any alcoholic beverage. And Saturdays, you can see Locq in person and get a free complimentary reading at our Psychic Saturday brunch. And that's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Greetings. And here you are, and here I am. This last part, this last segment, this... I'm so glad we had this time together, just to have a laugh and sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, it's the time we have to say so long. Well, not just yet, but what a great segment this was. What a great show this was. Gave you a lot of good information on a very a niche career space. So now you know a little bit more about what it is to be a notary. And maybe it's something that you might want to do, or maybe it's something that you might want to look into as a possible career path. It sounded really fascinating to me, and I don't know about you, but I love having my freedom. And so it's definitely something that I'm going to be looking into the days in the days to come. So now you have a better idea of what this format is like. You've had a chance to look at a couple of my shows now. Hopefully you've taken a look at the premiere, and you've got a chance to take a look at some of the outtakes from my previews. And you've seen the caliber. So you see that the show pretty much goes all over the place. You know, I go all over the place. But I try to go all over the place in regards to things that are of interest, mainly to me, that I think will be of interest to other people as well. That's the trick to the talk show. You want to make sure that you're engaging your audience, that they want to really look forward to what's going to be happening next. So I want to thank Kelvie for coming on the show, and also let her know that for coming on the show, she's going to be getting these 2 CDs as a thank you from Skip Martin and from Locq Fortune's Vegas 5. Yay! Woo, 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 woo. And she's going to be getting that. Starting next week, we're going to be doing a trivia section on the show where I'll be asking you a trivia question, and then the person who gets back with me with the correct trivia answer gets a shot at winning this puppy. Not too bad. Okay, so that's just to make sure you guys are out there. I'm sorry, but if you are an employee of the station, you are not allowed to win any of the prizes. But we want to gauge your audience participation. We want audience participation. We want you guys to get in there and feel like you're part of the show. And so this is another thing. You're also invited to come down to the studio. If you'd like to come down to the studio and watch the show, we'd love to have you here. We film live every Thursday from 4:30 to 5:30, lift permitting. I've had some lift issues. But lift permitting, I get here and we start shooting at 4:30 and we go until 5:30. Come on in the studio. If you're here in the studio, we have some stuff to give out, then we're going to be giving it out. Really, really excited in regards to this next upcoming month, in regards to the quality of guests that I'm going to be having on the show. I'm going to be having a gentleman, another bartender on the show. Yay! He works at the Bastille. Mr. De Leon works at the Bastille, and he's going to be showing us how to make a few really good drinks here. We got a lot of stuff coming up. And so this is something for you to think about. Do you have a lot of stuff? Do you have a lot of stuff that you would like to talk about? Do you have a lot of stuff that you would like to share? Do you have an audience that you'd like to share it with? Maybe you are doing something with the community that you would like to have more people in the community know about. Why not have your own show? Why not have your own talk show? Invite your people on so that your community can know what's going on in their community, in their world, and the effect that you're having on it. Maybe you don't have enough content for a talk show. Maybe there's not enough for a talk show, but you do have enough content to make a commercial. And maybe you thought you could never afford a commercial. Maybe you have your business and you have a nice, small mom and pop's business, and you would love to see a commercial about your business. But those folks up in NBC, ABC, and CBS, they won't listen to you. Well, guess what? We'll listen to you. We'll talk to you. You can talk to us. We'll be more than happy to get to film a show or film a commercial for you. And if it's a commercial, I'd be more than happy. I'd love to have it on my show. Maybe you're looking for something in between. Maybe you're looking for something in between the whole show dynamic and the whole commercial dynamic. Well, then maybe you want to be a sponsor. What's a sponsor? Well, a sponsor is a person who actually appears as a guest on my show, and so they have that as a business card that they can offer to other people because that segment is the segment that they're only interested in, and of course YouTube allows you to segment everything out, and so therefore they can send that segment to people so that they can to their professional to people in their professions so that they can watch it, or people in their audience so that they can watch it. And they also get a commercial. And how neat is that? You get to appear on my show once a month and talk about yourself, your subject that's near and dear to you, and I interview you on it. And you also get a commercial that's going to be airing all throughout the month on my show. Or if you have we might have a show that fits your demographic better that's on the station. And so we can get you on one of the other shows on the station. So there's a lot of different ways that you can go in regards to your advertising dollars where you're not going broke and yet you're getting a lot of exposure. Think about this. How much are you going to spend on a print ad? How much money will you spend on a print color ad? How much will you spend on a half-page print color ad? How much would you spend on a full-page print color ad? Think about that. You know what that price is. You know what that footnote is. Well, you're not even spending half as that much with us, and you're going to get a video. You'll get a video that you'll be able not only see when it airs live, along with my whole viewing audience. You're going to get a video that you're going to be able to take and share with your friends. Be it next week, be it next month, be it a year from now, that video is going to be there for you to share. So you can either decide that you want to advertise in a magazine for 1 month and hope that it gets seen, or you can come on board with our station, spend your advertising dollars here, and know that you get seen, because you'll see how many views are right there. Very easy to see. You'll see how many likes, you'll see how many shares. All of it very transparent, all very easy to see, all very easy to see where your advertising dollars are going and recognize how that's going. Sounds right, John?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds great to me too. So think about those things. We'll be back next week with some really great show information. Until then, we want you to keep your head in the stars and keep your feet on the ground. This is Locq Fortune with Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe.
Good vibrations.